Hi, everyone. I'm Lee Miller, the marketing director here at Bayview, and I have with me Joyce Doucet. She's our CFO here at Bayview. How long have you been here, Joyce?
15 years.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, I celebrated 5 years and going on my sixth. So here we go. So hopefully all of you have got the packet. Some of you got one hard copy in the mail that I sent out this last week, and the rest of you got it emailed. So hopefully today you'll have those forms. And if not, I'd like you to send me an email and let me know that you didn't get these forms, and I'll be more than happy to send them out. And speaking of sending out, we have a lot of new people on this call with us today. And I love to put you in my database so I can keep you informed on all the exciting events that we're having at Bayview. And Lunch and Learns are coming back, so watch for those. We have 3 scheduled in the next 3 months, and then we have a couple more webinars, and we'll talk about that before we sign off today. So all of you should have gotten this intro packet, and Joyce and I are going to go through these, and then after that we're gonna do questions and answers. So feel free to let me know if you have a question. We'll try to address that right away. Some logistics, hopefully you guys have all done Zoom before. You have an opportunity to on the bottom of your screen to chat with us. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to give you some background, especially for those of you that don't know this, but they started building Bayview back in 1958, and we currently are run by a volunteer board of directors. And the number one question people ask me when I say that is, do you have residents on the board? And actually we do, so that's wonderful. We are what you call a life plan community. In the past, it was called a CCRC, meaning Continuing Care Retirement Community. We offer independent living, assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing. We have a foundation here at Bayview that is just lovely. For those of you that move in, and by no fault of your own, should you run out of money, we have the foundation that can help you stay here in Bayview. We haven't sent anybody out,
Nope.
Right, Joyce?
Nope.
Yeah. We also have another program that I'd like to share with you, and it's called a moderate income program. And if that is something you might need a little help, we can have you do the paperwork, and we can get you qualified if you could. So keep that in mind too. In independent living, we have several sized apartments. We face 4 different directions, south being the most sought after. It has a beautiful view of lovely downtown Seattle and the water. But I truly believe any view that you have at Bayview is fabulous. In the assisted living, we have studios, alcoves, and 1 bedrooms. Memory care, brand new pretty much. It was built in our remodel. There are 10 lovely apartments. And then we have skilled nursing. There's 21 shared rooms in this skilled nursing, and 5 of those are private rooms. We have pricing and floor plans, and you'll notice in your packet when we go through those packet sheets that we'll talk a little bit more about those. But some of the great features here at Bayview that I am so proud to share with you are we have a 56-foot saltwater therapy pool that's plenty warm, no shivering when you get into this pool. And it's got great grab bars for holding on balance to do water aerobics and exercising. We have yoga, we have meditation, we have a boxing group. Oh my gosh, it's really fun to watch them. There's water aerobics. There's a class called lymphatic flow that is very, very popular, that Nalene has done an amazing job getting great people in here for our residents. And right now, of course, in the COVID case, a lot of this is temporary on hold, but soon, very soon, we hope to have this open up so our residents can enjoy that. We have 3 dining rooms here at Bayview, and each one stands alone. So if you got chicken tortilla soup on the terrace dining and you went down to the bistro, it'd probably be split pea soup or chicken noodles, something different. So each restaurant stands alone. One of my favorite dining experiences is on the 10th floor. They have creme brulee Belgian waffles. They have mimosas. They have quiche. They have crepes, all sorts of wonderful things. The bistro that I mentioned earlier is kind of like a grab and go. You can go down and get a latte. You can get some yummy frozen yogurt, sandwiches. I know there's lemon tarts and brownies down there. Really good things to drink. So it's a great place also. A couple other keen places to visit in the community. We have a lovely library. It's run by our board, or not our board, but our residents, and they do a wonderful job. And for those of you that are thinking, oh, that's where I can get rid of my extra books. No, we don't take books. So you're going to have to get those moved on before you come to move to Bayview. We do have a lovely chapel. We have a chaplain, Juliana. She's wonderful, does a great job with our chapel. We have wood shops. So for some of you guys that are thinking, wow, it'd be really fun to keep my wood skills going, we have a wood shop here. We have a beautiful outdoor terrace. It's enclosed. It's very safe. Residents have pea patch gardens there. And a couple years ago, we were blessed to have a beautiful greenhouse. I'm a master gardener, and I love our greenhouse, and our garden committee, it's probably one of the biggest committees that we have, and they do a beautiful job. The strawberries and the tomatoes, they're very tempting when you go out there in the summer, but it is wonderful. We also have a theater, and then we have complimentary resident rooms that you can rent if you want to have a family get together. Not at this time, but soon to come back, and many, many committees. So with that being said, Joyce, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I think you covered it. I was concerned when Lee started talking about all the wonderful restaurants we had and all the options that we don't have them right now because we're being very, very safe in this COVID world. But we started vaccinations on Monday, and we want this to be gone as soon as possible.
Yep. I got my shot.
Me too. My prediction is the end of June. This will be done. That's Joyce's prediction. Of course, that has no real basis. That's mine.
That's what we would love. All right. Without anything else, we're going to get into this lovely little packet. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the floor plans. And you will see, I don't know if you can see that real good, but so this first floor plan on the left is a premium apartment, and those are the most beautiful apartments. For those of you that are thinking, I really want to do all my own cooking, these are the apartments that you'll want because the kitchens are fabulous. The refrigerators even have ice cubes made in them. We also have suites, 2-bedroom apartments. Most of those are 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And a lot of them, as we convert and do the remodel, we are putting in washer and dryers. And they do have washer and dryers in the premium apartments. There's 5 1-bedroom premium apartments, and there's 2 2-bedroom premium apartments. The 9th floor and the 3rd floor have those 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and they're like, yeah, everybody wants those. And there is a wait list, and we'll talk about that wait list later. The next sheet you have is a picture of a 1-bedroom. There's a picture of an alcove and a picture of a studio. And I can tell you, when I tour people, they get excited about how large our apartments are. Sometimes when they look at the square footage, they think, well, 648 square feet. But that is maximized, and people are very happy with their 1-bedroom apartments. Another trend that we have going here at Bayview is people as couples are coming in and they want the 1-bedroom. And I'll tell you why, because they're not done traveling. They're not doing fun things. And I always tell everybody on a tour, your apartment is your bedroom, truly. This is such a big community that all over the community, there's several places to go and hang out. So use your bedroom or your apartment as your bedroom, and then go to those beautiful dining areas. Go down to the fitness center, go to the 10th floor and see, it's a Space Needle-like view. It's fabulous.
One thing I wanted to mention about these drawings too is these are examples.
Yes.
And at Bayview, because we've combined apartments and we have a lot of variations to this, and this is just a basic example.
And that is true. And we have what we call the 2.5s. There's apartments that end in 2.5 and or 3.4, I'm sorry, 3.4. And so the bedroom part is actually a little more divided. So there, you never know what you're going to get.
2.5s also are very different.
Yes,
the
that's
corner
true.
units. So just when we have an open apartment, you need to come see it and not necessarily know that it's going to fit the dimensions of this little drawing, because we have a lot of variations of our apartments.
That is true. All right. So let's go and talk about the next sheet would be the sheet with admission fees. Every January 1st, our admission fees go up like all the other communities that we work with. And so on this sheet, you'll notice a studio starts at $72,000 and it goes up to $168,000. And that is all depending on what floor you're landing on and what view you're going to have. So anything south facing is definitely going to be a little bit more pricey. And like I said, there's places all throughout the community, 10th floor especially. My favorite view was being up on the 10th floor. Oh gosh, it's probably been 3 years ago, standing up there and the Blue Angels come flying through. You literally could, wave to them. So it's just lovely. It's something, if you haven't seen, you want to come and have a tour with me. Alcoves are $108 to $350. One bedrooms, $142 to $639. And suites anywhere from $300 to $905. Now you'll notice to the right it says 50% refundable, and that's because, and Joyce is going to talk about this more in depth, but that's because we do offer 2 contract types, and I'm not going to steal her thunder and tell you about that, but you want to mark this page because you're going to come back because she's going to talk about the apartments available with continuing care. Let's turn to the next page. Is everybody keeping up with me? I do tend to talk fast. All right, so up at the top, the refund on admission fees. So Joyce will be, you all actually have a standard contract either on your email or it came in a packet that I sent you, and then the 50% numbers. We do have a month-to-month plan, and that is perfect for the person that might even just want to try us out and see if this is where you want to go. Or maybe you don't have a lot of extra money laying around to pay an admission fee, and we still want you here and you still want to be here. So that's what this month-to-month plan works out really well. And then if you notice on the bottom of the page, a studio for a single person is $25.50. And if you notice it says NA for couple, that's because we know couples won't do well in 324 square feet, 2 of them. So, but I will tell you this, I have 3 couples here that are actually in different apartments. It works out well for people. And when I presented this to all 3 of these different couples, they kind of looked at me like, really? But now if you come to our resident panel in March and listen to them talk, they will tell you how amazing it is, because again, it's a bedroom and your apartment. So it works out really well. And then if you go down, yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to know that these prices that you're looking at here do include meal plans. So if you're comparing our pricing to other communities' pricing, make sure that you're bringing, that there's a meal plan included in, so you're comparing apples to apples.
That is so true. Absolutely. Another fine feature that we have, and I noticed some of my competitors are going to bi-weekly on housekeeping. No, not Bayview. We're there every week. Our housekeepers love their job. They love making our residents happy.
And our residents love our housekeepers too.
Yes, they do.
They're family.
They are. The next pricing, it's community pricing, Danner's Way and Dorothy's Place, which basically equates to assisted living and memory care. And these prices. Now, an assessment's done on all people moving in, whether you come in independently, assisted living, memory care. we have Jamie Hart. We're really blessed to have her as our social worker. She's been here about 17 years.
Yeah.
And she does a terrific job. And she will make sure that when you're assessed that you're not going to get all these fees. I've worked in communities where there are levels and you end up paying for things that you don't need. So everything's a la carte here at Bayview, and she will work with you and help you out and get you what you need.
So that assessment she's doing is to make sure that you can safely and successfully live in the level of care that you're placed in. Oftentimes we have people who think they're assisted living. Well, Jamie will go out and assess you, because sometimes maybe you want a trial in IL, and that's okay. You can be there we have a 60-day trial period to see if that's the right level of care for you, or indeed you do need to have more services, and so maybe assisted living is a better option. But we work with a doctor and Jamie's assessment and make sure that you're safe and successful living in whatever level of care you enter Bayview as.
That's awesome. Yes. The last sheet here says additional rates, and these are meal charges. So when you have your friends and family over, like I know you'll all want to have them over on Saturday morning when they're serving up those creme brulee Belgian waffles, and they can come and dine with you. All right. So we're going to move to another sheet. It's called Apartment Selection Worksheet, and this is what it looks like. So pull that one up. I put this one together because this really helps people, especially when they come in and tour with me, because I have it broken down, a studio with a single person, the monthly base, and then with the meal plan added to it. Now, when we get back into normal times, the meal plans offered are 2 meals a day.
Well, when we get back to normal times, I think we're going to redo our meal plan process.
Okay, good. See, Joyce knows.
We had 4 meal plans, and it just got to be kind of difficult to administer. So we're going to just throw that out and start over. We have this time to figure out exactly how we want to do it, listening to what our residents had to say about the meal plans we had in place and the problems and concerns that we had. We're going to address that and come up with a new meal plan option that's much more user-friendly.
All right, good. Well, that's good news.
For your knowledge, Lee.
Yes, thank you. But this will still help you out, because this will tell you your square footage and your pricing for couples and for singles. And then it does mention down here the fees go up every year on January 1st. So that's why I would get a big rush in December to move in. But it also breaks it down. So when you tour with me, we can identify the apartments that you really liked. And that's a good information to hang on to, because maybe when you come, you're not ready to move. But when you are, you can tell me, well, when you showed me that apartment 825, I loved it. Do you have anything like that? That helps me get you where you want to go. So that's a fun little sheet. Now, in that monthly fee, what's included? Now, this is what it's going to look like. It's what's included. And I'm not going to read all of these, but we'll highlight some of them. All your utilities. And we mentioned earlier about housekeeping. We even bring your linens. And I hate changing the sheets on my bed, but our housekeepers love changing the sheets on your bed. So they will do that for you. We have a storage locker that's no extra charge. And if you take a studio or an alcove, you get half of it, which is 3.5 feet tall, 3 feet wide, 3 feet deep. Or if you get a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom, then you get the full size, 7 feet tall, 3 feet wide, 3 feet deep. And I will tell you that half of that in my other community I worked in was $130 extra on your monthly bill. And we don't do that. There's no extra charge for those. I told you earlier, we have a movie theater on floor 1. We have that lovely library. We do have a shuttle service with a great driver that will take you to and from to your doctor's appointments. We have amazing activities. I can't wait for them to come back. Your telephone does include national long distance. You have cable TV and internet is included. There's no extra charge. And I believe we have Comcast in the works.
In the works is the key.
Yep. Yeah. And we have maintenance staff here 24 hours a day. we're close to the arts. So I know if I asked you to wave your hand if you're into the arts, probably most of you would. Ballet, theater, symphony, opera, all within walking distance. And sometimes people get fooled when they look at us sitting here on the hill of Bayview. We have an exit door on the bottom that goes right out to Roy Street. So residents don't have to walk all the way up that big, tall hill. And you'll have a fob key that'll get you in. So it makes it wonderful. We are pet friendly, thank goodness. I couldn't go anywhere without my dog. And I know Joyce would probably say the same. The park-like setting I mentioned earlier is wonderful. And then the fitness center, it's fabulous.
You can see pictures of these areas that Lee's referencing on our website.
Absolutely.
So if you want to take a look at when she says that park-like, we call it the terrace patio, and it really is a gem. That's for sure.
Now, another sheet in here is called the Bayview timeline, and this will give you, I'm not going to read this because you can see this and go through, but this will give you an idea of when you start at step one, you receive the application packet that I give you, and then there's just a whole little list of things to do. And also, I will tell you this, and I just finished it, so it'll be ready to go, is I have a moving in manual. And every time somebody moves in, I ask them to critique it and add anything that you felt like I didn't have. In this last meeting, I had 4 residents that had previously just moved in, and they gave me lots more of information. And they also gave me encouragement and said how it made them feel really good about moving in and not being so worried about when they're supposed to do and you know, what has to be done. Okay, so the next form that you have, this is called the filling out the confidential financial data form. If you're single, you're applicant 1 on the form. And if you're a couple, you'll do it together. Applicant 1 for one and applicant 2 for the other one. We need supporting documents on this. Front and back of your picture ID, Social Security statement. So if you're drawing Social Security or even a pension, your bank statements current. I always tell people draw a black line through their account numbers. And then we also have anything that generates a monthly income. If you do come in as a couple, there is an $18,000 second person fee, and that didn't get raised.
No, we don't normally raise that, but
yeah, that's awesome. So the sheet that you want to look at is confidential financial statement. And Joyce, is there anything you want to say about this?
No, just that in addition to the documentation of your income, which in some situations your bank statement's going to be showing how much your pension is, how much your Social Security is. So we can also use that for that source. But on the second page, there's a place for your assets. And so the investment statements, again, we don't need to have your account number, but we do want to verify and have that on file, what your assets were coming in. If there's a home or condo, I can Google that and pull down the assessed value on that. So I don't necessarily need documentation on that, but that as well as the monthly income, we do need to have on file.
And if you ever need help with this, I actually encourage people when I'm touring them, because they'll say, you know, they're a little more price conscious, and they say, I want to really find out what I qualify for to move into Bayview. And so this is a wonderful opportunity for you to get this filled out, get it back to me. I'll get it to Joyce, and she'll be happy to discuss your concerns or questions. And I can honestly say most people are pleasantly surprised with what they can afford. So it's always seems to be a good positive experience. The next form is our resident medical deduction for income taxes. And I'm going to let Joyce speak to you about this one.
We're going to let the accountant talk about income tax deductibility at Bayview. So in the first paragraph, there's reference to 3 IRS revenue rulings that speak to the tax deductibility of entrance fees and monthly fees here at Bayview. This memo is a copy of what was sent out the end of February 2000, so it's related to 2019. 2020 will be available the end of February of this year. I wait till the end of our financial audit to make sure all the numbers are solid and then issue this out to residents. There's 2 pieces of information on here that are valuable to you specifically. The healthcare expense as a percentage of total expenses, 23.32%. Well, okay, great. There's our accountant talking about income taxes, but what does that really mean? That percentage can be multiplied by your entrance fee that you paid in the year that you paid it and is deductible as a medical deduction. And that's referenced in those IRS revenue rulings. So that is a lot of money and very helpful. And again, it's in the year in which you paid the entrance fee that you're able to utilize that percentage for a medical deduction. The second that's contained in there is for the monthly fees. And in 2019, $8,166 or $680 a month was the amount that's deductible as a medical deduction. And if there's a couple, then that's doubled. And that deduction is the same for each person because the future benefit of medical care here at Bayview is the same benefit for everyone. So it's the same deduction for everyone. And that's what my accounting people have told me as an explanation for that. And that makes some sense. Some of this to me doesn't necessarily make sense, but as was shared with me many years ago by a very wise board treasurer who was a CPA in Ballard, Joyce, it's the IRS and they don't have to make sense and this is okay. So it's a great benefit to you from a tax standpoint.
Awesome. Good. Thanks, Joyce. So if you have questions on that, you could also see your own accountant.
Definitely. Take this to them. You've got an example. They can look up the revenue rulings and let you know what they think about that.
Perfect. All right. How are we doing so far? It looks like there's some questions. I'm going to pop on those for. I believe that the contract says the only local telephone service is local.
Right.
But
you want me to address that?
Yeah, go ahead, Joyce.
Yeah, so our contract probably needs to be updated on that. And the resident handbook is where we make those changes when we change things. The cost of tracking the long distance is more than the charges we ever had for long distance. And with the cost of the phone, the long distance charges, they're so nominal at this point that we do not charge people for long distance. Right. If there were a lot of international calls that were getting pricey, there's a possibility we would charge you for those. We haven't in many, many years because it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But good question. Thank you.
That is a good question. Also, it says, I think the contract says that some doctor appointments and other transportation will be charged. Our shuttle service basically works in Greater Seattle area. I know we don't go over the bridges to like Bellevue. We do have Uber and Lyft that work for us, that Bayview pays those if our shuttles are out and about and not able to get somebody where they need to go. But there isn't really any charges for local.
We limit it to, I believe it's 10 miles for doctor and dentist visits, but I don't know of any charges that we've assessed people.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So the next form that I'm going to talk about is the waitlist deposit. And that little form right here. Let me talk to you about the waitlist, because a big question that always comes up is, do I need to be on the waitlist, and how long am I going to be on the waitlist? And honestly, I have somebody that was on the wait list, came in 1983, and they're still on the wait list, and they're still, they're number one on the wait list. They haven't lost their spot. How the wait list works is $1,000 for one person, $2,000 for a couple. You put that money down and then you get into my database. We determined what apartment on this form. It says studio with a balcony, no balcony. Whatever you think you want, and I encourage you to pick at least 3 and then wait for my call. I do have some little magic. I work with people on the wait list, and it's changed their dreams and brought them to come true sooner. And that is, maybe you want a 2-bedroom south-facing, and I don't have a 2-bedroom south-facing. So what we can do is we can get you in a 1-bedroom south-facing maybe, or even northeast or west. And when you become a resident, you go to the top of the wait lists. You're not having to wait through. I think I have about 70 people on my wait list right now. And so it makes it happen a lot faster. If you decline, if I call you up and say, I have an apartment for you, and you say, I'm not ready to move, you don't lose your spot. I just go to the next person. And were you going to say something?
We consider that our internal wait list.
Yes.
That our residents living here at Bayview get first choice of apartments as they become available if they do wish to move. And that actually happens a lot.
Yes, it does. And you'll get a full credit. Let's say you paid $200,000 as your buy-in, and the apartment that you want on the other side of the fence, the south facing, is $400,000. So you would only pay $200,000 more to get your apartment moved to the other side. There are some other benefits that I want to share with you. If you're on my wait list, you are getting invited to quarterly programs that are just for my wait list people. Also, the lunch and learns. We're going to do them out there. I've got some restaurants lined up that will be delivering lunches to the people that sign up for my lunch and learns. And those are right now only going to the wait list people. But I will probably expand that in second quarter as we go forward, because a lot of you have signed up for those lunch and learns. I'm really excited. I really miss them. And so the other thing, and you can't use it right now, but it'll soon come back, that is a free club membership. Meaning you can come and swim in the pool and take all the classes down in the fitness center. Of course, it's not open right now, but we got to be hopeful, look at the light at the end of the tunnel. And so that's an opportunity. And I have to tell you, that's a big opportunity, because normally we charge about $55 a person a month. And so that's a free gift that we extend to our people on the wait list. The next form is my 25% deposit reservation form. You should have that one. And this is when you have come and toured with me and you walked in and you said, oh my gosh, this is my apartment. I love this. So then you put down your 25% deposit, and that will hold that apartment for 60 days for you to get it all together, get your paperwork in, the application packet, and it's definitely off the market in those 60 days so that you can make that happen. The other thing about the deposit, it's 100% refundable. That means at any time you should change your mind, all you got to do is let us know and we refund that. And speaking of refunds, when you move in, the day that you move into Bayview, you have 60 days, and it's in that contract that you saw. It's in that contract that basically says, should you, for whatever reason, change your mind within those 60 days, you can get your refund.
Yeah, 100% refund
on the admissions
fee that you paid.
Right. Yeah. So that is lovely. All right. I am going to turn this over to Joyce now, and she is going to talk to you about the Type 1 C1 standard contract.
Perfect. Thank you, Lee. I'm just going to walk through this really quickly and address some of the most often asked questions, because if there's a question on a contract, they normally come to me. So I can share some answers with you and hopefully make it clear. It's a lot of pages and it was written by an attorney, so some of it's in legalese and a little hard to understand in real words, in real people words. It is a residency and care agreement. It's definitely a contract, but we consider considered an agreement for residency, meaning you have an apartment to live in, and care, meaning that we also have assisted living, home care, skilled nursing available to you at this particular time. One of the most important things in the contract that I tend to refer to all the time is the effective date of the contract. That's speaking to refund potential, or that's probably it, refund potential. The contractor goes into who Bayview is, that you've submitted documents to Bayview, and that we've accepted you for residency. So we do both the financial screening, and then Jamie does the screening to make sure that you can, as I mentioned earlier, safely and successfully live in the apartment that you've chosen. The contract further goes into the services that Bayview provides and the amenities that we have. Of course, those are always subject to change. Over the years, we've added many more amenities and many more fun things. We did that remodel that started in 2016 and ended in 2018 that added new dining venues and new amenities that we didn't have prior to the remodel. So that we can always look forward to that happening. We are responsive to what residents request and want, and try to grow our programming as much as possible to meet the requests of our residents. The contract talks about your fees, what your entrance fee is, the fact that there's that 60-day, oh no, this is a different 60 days. We will give you 60-day notice of any changes in rates. That used to be 30 days in our contract, and the City of Seattle changed any rate increases to 60 days. Although we're not a rental, you're paying a monthly service fee. We went ahead and redid our budgeting process, moved it back 30 days so that we do give you 60 days notice of the rate increase. So November 1st, or a little before, you get a letter specific saying what your rate was and what it will be in the next year. We also have a town hall meeting where we can explain what's happening with the budget, what's happening with the fees. There are absence credits for meals, although in our new meal plan, well, it'll be a little bit different, but if you're not eating the meals, you won't be paying for them in the new one. The contract talks about default and possible subsidization, meaning we want you to pay your monthly fee. That's probably pretty obvious. And Lee mentioned that we are so fortunate to have a supporting entity called the Bayview Manor Foundation. This was formed in 1987, and their primary goal is to assist those residents who, through no fault of their own, have run out of money so that you do not have to leave Bayview. And that's a very wonderful thing. In that time, since 1987, the Bayview Manor Foundation has supported Bayview to the tune of over $4.4 million in subsidies and also other financial assistance. They give us money each year currently to help keep our fees in skilled nursing lower, which is we're so blessed to have them as a supporting entity. So the relocation from residents, and Lee talked about this. If you move into that 1-bedroom and you want that south-facing 2-bedroom, you pay the difference between what you paid and the current entrance fee on that apartment. Now, there's also cases happen where people move into a large 2-bedroom south-facing, maybe as a couple, and one member moves to assisted living, so you don't need that larger apartment. So what happens then if you move to a smaller apartment? And within the refund period, the difference between, this is where it gets a little bit legally contracting. We look at the difference between the two apartments. So if you paid $400 and you're going to a $200, there's a $200,000 differential. And that then we look at how many years were you in that 2-bedroom apartment, and look at the refund schedule to see that there might be just a percentage of that you would get. And that refund would be available once that apartment you're moving out of, the larger apartment, is reoccupied. Then that kind of brings me to talking about what happens when you're done living at Bayview. If you decide to move out, first of all, you do have that 60-day trial period in which you can get a full refund. If you move into Bayview and you find that you really made a mistake, that really doesn't normally happen, but maybe it would. Just rest assured that you have a trial period of 60 days in which to evaluate whether or not your choice of moving to Bayview is the one that you really want. If you decide to move out, you would get 100% refund of your entrance fee at that time. In the same light, Bayview has 60 days to evaluate your living at Bayview to make sure you're safely and you can live satisfactory, you can be successful in living in that apartment. Maybe you moved in and really you need more care and you need to be in assisted living. We offer that here at Bayview as well. So we have 60 days to evaluate you. You have 60 days to evaluate us. That's a very comforting thing to know that there is that trial period and you can get 100% of your money back during that time. You still need to pay the monthly fee, but 100% of your entrance fee you get back. After 60 days, if you decide that you want to move out, then we would go to the refunds section within the contract. I think we had that earlier too. After the 60 days, but in the first year, you would get an 80% refund of the entrance fees. Year 2, it's 60, 40, and then 20% in year 4. Now, if you have a 50% refundable contract, the first year is 80, second year is 60, and then it's 50% from then on, no matter when you leave Bayview. 2 things have to happen for you to get that refund. One, you have to move out of Bayview, meaning if you have a 50% refundable contract and in year 6 you move to assisted living, you haven't left Bayview. You're still living in Bayview. So you need to leave Bayview. And the second thing is that apartment has to be reoccupied. I'm going to make sure I covered everything there. I think so. Moving through the contract a little further, it talks about personal liability. You're encouraged to get renter's insurance for your personal property within your apartment. If something happens here at Bayview, that's if we cause damage to your personal property, then we would cover it. But if something happened in your apartment, and this doesn't normally happen, but should you not lock your door, and our doors automatically lock, but if you propped it open for some reason and someone were to go into your apartment and steal your personal property, now we have cameras and we have if your door's locked, then we can run a report and see who was in your apartment. But if it was left unlocked and your personal property was stolen, Bayview does not have coverage for that, so we do encourage people to get a renter's insurance policy to protect their personal property. Just a couple miscellaneous things. Bayview is a 100% non-smoking community. No smoking on the property at all. We do have residents that smoke. They go outside and across the street to smoke because we are a 100% non-smoking community. You are bound by the rules contained in the resident handbook. And sometimes when changes are made, and this may be the case with will be the case with our new meal plans that we're going to be rolling out here post-COVID, that will be contained and detailed in the resident handbook. You have no property interest and you've entered into a contract for residency and services. And that's why that is that type of a contract, that you're not actually buying your apartment. You are entering into a contract for residency, the right to use that apartment, and services provided here at Bayview. A fun little section, which is legalese, is that you are subordinate to lenders. And if something were to happen to Bayview, it won't. We're a 501c3, very financially stable, but should we become bankrupt and no other organization wants to buy us, which there's plenty of organizations that are chains that would love to have Bayview as part of their portfolio. But in all of that, it's legalese to say that lenders get paid first before you would receive any financial compensation should Bayview cease to exist. And the chances of Bayview ceasing to exist and its current operations, just slightly greater than 0. If there's any disputes that we're not able to work out with you, then that is subject to arbitration. There's a section in the contract that talks about possible property taxes that are assessed to you. Even though you don't own your apartment, Bayview would pass on the cost of property taxes should we lose our tax exemption, which would be a very bad thing. Currently, we are exempt. We do have a requirement that we have a certain number of people at or below the HUD median income level. And even before we were required to have that, we had that because we do have our moderate income program. It's part of our diversity, not only diversity of religion and color and ethnicity, it's also financial diversity as well. So we want people of all income levels living here at Bayview. Couple other things, we have different contract types, and that was detailed out on those pages that Lee went through earlier. 50% refundable contracts available. It's 39% more than a regular contract, but it does ensure that there's a refund forever. It doesn't expire as our standard contract. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, there are refunds, and those decrease each year. In a 50% refundable contract, it doesn't go below 50%, but that is for an additional charge on that. And the second one is it's what's considered a type B contract, meaning that there's some future healthcare benefit. You're prepaying basically. There's an additional, the contracts are about 13% more than a standard contract. And that allows you to have prepaid healthcare. So it's 30 days in either skilled nursing or 30 days in assisted living for the monthly fee in assisted living, and then a 10% discount on those services going forward. We haven't had any, I'm gonna get that door. Sorry, someone opened our door. Got a little noisy in here. Sorry, apologize for that. We offered this new contract starting about 2 years ago, and we've had no one take us up on it. But I think it's important to know that we have it. If you're comparing Bayview to other communities that have a prepaid healthcare benefit, that's the contract type you want to look at if you're comparing Bayview to others. So you're looking at apples and apples, same as I referred to earlier with the meal plans. It's real hard sometimes to look at just $1 amount out there on paperwork you're getting. Well, what's included in that? And that's a really important question for you to be asking.
Yeah.
I think that's my quick, dirty go through the contract.
Good job. Okay, so I see a question here. It says for the 70-person waiting list, how many are actively waiting? And that's a good question to ask because it could be defeating if you thought, I got to wait for 70 people to get happy. What I find is a lot of people come in and they love Bayview, but they're not quite ready. So they get on the wait list. So you never know. I've had people tell me it'll be 4 to 5 years before I move in, and 6 months later they're living here. And the biggest feedback I get back is, Lee, why didn't you force me to do this sooner? Because I just love, you can't explain to somebody exactly how it's going to be. Just tell them how wonderful, show them how wonderful. But so on the list, everything changes daily, seriously, where somebody doesn't think they're going to move in, or somebody that thinks they're going to move in soon, and then they find out, well, no, I think I do want to wait. So you do not lose your spot in the list. So if I were to call people, like the other day, this is a true story, I had a 2-bedroom available, and I called all my 2-bedroom people, and every one of them said, Lee, I'm waiting till after COVID. Which I will tell you, this summer we had a lot of move-ins because people kind of got really frustrated and said, you know what, I would rather be in your community where I know that everything's taken care of. My apartment's clean, my food is prepared beautifully. People rave about our food. So a lot of people are kind of turning towards coming in sooner than later. And with the vaccines out, I can't predict the future, but we're definitely moving in the right direction. So I say, if you feel that Bayview's even in your top 3 choices, I would say get on that wait list. Some people you'll lose your waitlist fee. In other communities, ours we give 85% back. So if you do find that you want to be here at Bayview, I'd say go ahead and get on there. And then the next question: can you say why people would want to leave? Well, mostly I would say it's death.
Well, of course, it's that, and typically, why do people leave Bayview? Typically, they don't leave Bayview.
Yeah.
We've had people, maybe they move here because Queen Anne's their home. Their kids live in Queen Anne. They get transferred to California. They'll move to California to be by their kids. That's another reason people have left. We did have one couple leave. It was a smoking issue, even though they were aware that we were a non-smoking building. When they got in and realized, oh, then I can't smoke on my balcony. No, not so much. That was a reason that they left. Typically, we don't have people leave because Bayview's a great place. The next question: can you say why people would want the prepaid contract? It's a type of insurance that perhaps they just want to get a little discount. 30 days in healthcare is about $12,000. So depending on the amount of the entrance fee that you're paying, you're going to pay 13% more. You got to kind of weigh that out. And then also the ongoing 10% discount on those services going forward. We've had no one take that contract, but again, we do offer it, and it's offered out there at other communities. That's the reason we brought it on board.
Yeah, and I'd like to add something to that, and that is that some people did not get long-term care insurance, and when you get to the place where you're now thinking, well, I do want to move, it's very difficult to get, and it can be very, very pricey. So these prices are really, really good. Like Joyce was saying, would you say 13%?
Yeah, it's 13% more. About 13% more on just the entrance fee,
right?
But it does give you a benefit. But like I said, we offered it to be competitive with what others were offering, and we've had no one take it. So.
Yeah, so it just depends. All right. Well, we want to open this up and see if there are any other questions. Here's one.
That's a good question. How does long-term care insurance enter in? So definitely, that's a great question. Long-term care insurance can have a benefit for assisted living in your assisted living area, as well as in skilled nursing. And we will assist you in filing for that. There's certifications that need to be filled out for your long-term care insurance, and we need a monthly billing statement, and that we can forward on to the long-term care insurance. We have quite a few residents actually that do have that and do benefit from it. And they all pay a little differently, and we can help, when you're getting ready to move in, we can take a look at that and just see what the requirements are and what the benefits are to you. But we definitely have people using their long-term care insurance in both assisted living and in our skilled nursing center.
That's awesome. Any other questions? I do want to, I'm going to try to screen share this. So I have a couple things I want to share with you, and I don't see, no, I don't see it. Okay, then I'm going to just tell you about it. I have 2 more webinars coming up. Next month, the webinar is on, it's kind of it's not a kind of, it is a virtual tour of our hottest apartments on the market right now. And then in March, I don't know if some of you, if I ask you to wave your hand, I'm sure there's some of you out there that attended my resident panel last month. And it went over, I got so many positive feedback letters from you that are out there watching these. And our panelists are amazing. They're all residents here at Bayview, just really fun people. And they're very candid, and they will tell you, you can ask them, and they are going to tell you what was the hardest thing and what was the best thing you ever did moving in. So that's going to be in March. I will send out invites to get you signed up for those. And then if you are interested in the lunch and learns and you're not on my wait list, I'd love you to email me. My email address is lmiller@bayviewseattle.org. And I'd love to have all of you. I know there was some new ones that joined us this time, and I don't have your current address. And I'd love to get that so that I can put you in our database. I don't stalk people, but I do send wonderful invites. And Jill's working on one right now to let you know what we're going to do. We got some surprises coming around the bend. And those things are sent out to people either through your email or through your physical address. And I like to send out gifts randomly to my people too. So it's really important. Send it to me. I'll say my email again. It's the letter L, Miller@bayviewseattle.org. I want to thank Joyce for taking time
There's a
out
couple
today.
more questions, Lee.
Oh, there is?
This
Okay.
is exciting.
All right.
The question was first one, how does long-term care insurance, how would it work with the continuing care option? It'd work really well.
Yep.
Most long-term care insurance have a daily benefit that they pay, whether that's $100 or $300. So you would have the continuing care benefit, and then we would send in the certification for your long-term care insurance. A lot of long-term care insurances have a waiting period also, maybe a 30-day or 45-day waiting period. So that continuing care benefit would then pay 100% of the first 30 days of that. Then your long-term care insurance would kick in. But you could double dip if you didn't have a waiting period, because we would certify that you are indeed you're here and that you have those charges related to that, receiving those services. Second question, back to the continuing care benefit. Can a couple share the continuing care benefit? And I probably need to go back and refresh my memory, but I think if a couple comes in, they both get the continuing care benefit. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, that was mine.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. And because they pay their second person fee.
Exactly.
So yeah, there you go. Thank you for asking that question.
Those are great questions.
Yeah, these are good questions. How about anybody else? Can you think of any? Oh,
thank you for the Starbucks
card. Yep, I sent out Starbucks cards for my attendees last time. If you send in your paperwork, if you, thank you for reminding me of that. If you send in new information to me, like your address, and I don't already have it, then I will send you, I have Amazon cards too. I love to give away, like I said, I love to give away things. So please let me know, send an email to me. And so Joyce, thank you. This was welcome, so fun. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. We've had a blast. Anytime I feel I can share information about Bayview that helps you make a better decision for yourself, be it you come to Bayview or you go to somewhere else, because I know there's plenty of beautiful communities out there, and it's really good to find the one that works best for you. So thanks again, and I hope I see you at my next webinar, February 9th, and watch for the invite. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care.